afternoon. Good afternoon, graduates, guests, RVU faculty, staff, and board members. Welcome to the Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine ceremony for the class of 2024. I'm Dr. Heather Farrell, and I have the honor of serving as the Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine and as your Master of Ceremonies for today. To honor the United States, please remain standing for the presentation of our colors and join student Dr. Timothy Light in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Welcome, friends and family. We're gathered on this important occasion to celebrate your new journey as osteopathic physicians. Today, we acknowledge your dedication, perseverance, and unwavering spirit in the service to humanity. We reflect on all your accomplishments and gratefully acknowledge the support and encouragement received from families, friends, faculty, and staff. Remember, your road ahead will present challenges, and at times there will be uncertainty. Always embrace these moments as opportunities for growth. Please keep your heart focused on the service to others. Each of you are brave and noble practitioners of the healing art of osteopathic medicine. We send along with you wishes for a future of untold possibilities, hopes of extraordinary discoveries, and blessings for never-ending moments of joy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Henderson. I'm Dr. David Forstein, an osteopathic OBGYN, and have the honor to serve as the president of Rocky Vista University. Good afternoon, and welcome to Rocky Vista University's 13th annual commencement exercise and the third graduation taking place in beautiful southern Utah. It is my great honor to stand before you as you embark on the next phase of your professional journey. Graduating from medical school is a remarkable achievement, and I congratulate each of you for the hard work, dedication, and sacrifice that has brought you to this moment. While the spotlight is on the graduates, I would like to take a moment to support those I would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to those who have supported you during your education. First, to the faculty sitting before you. Our faculty want our students to be learned, wise, decent, humane, generous, forgiving, and yet light of heart. Please join me in honoring their efforts and contributions to your professional development. Next, we honor some of our RVU preceptors who are here with us today. If you were a preceptor for our students, I ask you to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. These preceptors donate their time and talents and knowledge to guide, mold, and build the next generation of medical professionals. The mentoring and humanity this group of leaders brings to medical education makes all the difference in how healthcare is shaped. Thank each and every one of you for emulating RVU's core values as we achieve new heights in medical education. Lastly, but certainly not least, we recognize your family and friends. They celebrate your achievement and are proud of what you have endured and accomplished. They have worried about you throughout medical school and offered their support. Graduates, please take a moment to extend your gratitude to your family and loved ones. Graduates of the class of 2024, each of you should enjoy the overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment as you now look to the next chapter of your professional development and training. I would like to welcome Dr. Maha Salam, the chair of our Board of Trustees, and she will offer her own congratulations.
Hello, graduates. It is my honor to congratulate you on behalf of the Rocky Vista University Board of Trustees. We are so proud of your accomplishments. Rocky Vista University is truly a unique community, and you, the graduating class of 2024, along with your fellow alumni and those who will graduate after you, are and will always, always be the core of that community. We are overjoyed to see you achieve this milestone along your path to becoming compassionate health professionals. Along with the hard work of perseverance, you helped shape the warm, collaborative culture within the university. We hope that you take the values that you helped shape at RVU forward with you, and we wish you an incredible future as you go out there and make the world a better place. I want to congratulate you again and thank the RVU faculty and staff who worked tirelessly in supporting and guiding you along the way. I also want to congratulate your family, loved ones, and this entire community for standing by you for the past few years. Please enjoy your celebration, and best of luck from each and every one of us. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Dean Farrell back to the podium as we take a moment to honor Dr. Salam. Dr. Salam is worthy of great distinction as she is a noted scientist and entrepreneur, having earned her PhD in computer science and engineering from the University of South Florida. She is president of VuEssence Incorporated, a development stage company focused on creating diagnostic solutions related to stroke and head injuries. Most importantly to RVU, Dr. Salam has served on our Board of Trustees since 2013 and has served with distinction as the board's chair since 2016. Dr. Salam's term ends in November of this year, and it is only right that her leadership be recognized by this honorary degree conferred to her by a secret vote of your board. Dr. Farrell, on the recommendations of the board, I invite Dr. Salam as a candidate for this honor. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rocky Vista University, I hereby confer upon Dr. Maha Salam, RV Board of Trustees Chair, the degree of Doctor of Leadership, honoris causa, and grant this diploma in recognition of her outstanding contributions to the university, the osteopathic profession, and medical education. Congratulations.
Oh, well, to have the opportunity to be led by an icon in one's profession is rare, and I feel fortunate to have had the opportunity to partner with such an exemplary and inspiring figure as Dr. Clyde Jensen. After a long and successful career, which included being the nation's youngest medical school president at the age of 32, Dr. Jensen joined RVU in 2018. He began teaching in pharmacology and very quickly took on interprofessional education, the academic medicine and leadership track, and nutrition, as well as helping to manage and develop our virtual grand rounds for all of our students. During his time at RVU, Dr. Jensen quickly emerged as not only an outstanding faculty member, but also as a mentor, a friend, and an advisor to students, faculty, staff, and administrators. He quickly immersed himself into the community, and he engaged successfully with local leaders to pursue outstanding opportunities for our students in interprofessional education, leadership, outreach, and specifically service. His span of influence has reached across all 3 RVU campuses and into our communities. Everyone who has had the opportunity to work with Dr. Jensen learns of and comes to appreciate his gift for teaching, for leading, and his skill in administration and his genuine love for people. He is an outstanding academic, author, sculptor in both wood and stone, and an angler, fly fishing specifically. We will miss his wit and his wisdom, his intellect and his charm, his kindness and his generosity, but mostly, we're going to miss his true friendship and dear friendship in our community. So, today we honor and we celebrate Dr. Jensen's legacy and the significant impact he's had on the growth and success of RVU and on our students. On behalf of the university, its Board of Trustees and faculty, it is my honor to award, getting a little verklempt, to award to Dr. Clyde Jensen, Professor Emeritus of Rocky Vista University's College of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Jensen.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rocky Vista University, I hereby confer upon Clyde Jensen, Professor Emeritus, and grant this award in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the osteopathic profession and medical education.
I would now like to invite Mr. Rich Saunders to the podium to deliver this year's keynote speech. Mr. Saunders was raised in Sandy, Utah, and is an entrepreneur at heart. During the early days of his career, he started and scaled several businesses. Later, he served at the state of Utah by leading its COVID-19 pandemic response. During this global crisis, he served under the governor's direction as the executive director of Utah Department of Health and as a co-leader of the state's Unified Command, which was responsible for guiding the daily decisions and policy to protect the lives and the livelihood of Utahns. As a public servant, Mr. Saunders has held a variety of key roles, including serving as the state's Chief Innovation Officer and Senior Advisor to Governor Spencer J. Cox. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Saunders.
Thank you, Doctor. What a pleasure to be with you today. This podium is made for shorter people, so can you hear me okay in the back? All right, looks like it's good. I wanted to read this opening statement that I got from ChatGPT. Can I do that? So it goes like this. Good afternoon, graduates of Rocky Vista University, Board of Trustees, esteemed faculty, dedicated staff, honored guests, and loving family members. That's pretty good, right? I think ChatGPT is good. I use it all the time. But I did not use it for the rest of this speech. I wanted to point out 120 of you today are moving forward into the world armed with the degree, a doctorate in osteopathic medicine. It is an honor to be with you. All the pain, the discipline, the study, the tears, the discouragement, the feelings of I can't do, all of that coupled together, all so good and so important for your journey, all incredible. Congratulations, and what an honor to share this moment with you today. Harvard professor Arthur Brooks, he did some research trying to discover what elements make up a happy life. And he found in that research 4 keys to happiness. Number 1 is faith. Now think about each of these. Why do they make up happiness? Faith, family, friends, and a work that serves others. Today we're surrounded by these very pillars that uphold the essence of happiness. To me, however, I found that happiness is not so much a destination as it is a journey. It's a way to travel down the road. And the elements that Arthur Brooks identified, faith, family, friends, and work that serves others, they require a lot of work. And they're important elements that when we surround ourselves in our journey with these things, happiness oozes from them. And it's going to involve flops and successes and happiness and sadness. They're all part of the journey, but yet these elements, faith, family, friends, and work that serves other people, are the ingredients that when we couple them with our journey, they create happiness. And I'm sure you know this, that you're about to become the busiest you've ever been in your life, right? Yeah. It's interesting that when we get busy, these are the first 4 things we ignore, right? I want to encourage you to be intentional about being happy. It won't just happen. It's not a coincidence. It takes a lot of effort. You have to choose to be a person of faith. You have to choose to be a participant in family. You have to choose to be a good friend. And you have to choose to have a mindset of service to others. Demonstrate your commitment, please, by ensuring that these 4 important elements that are proven, this isn't just somebody's theory, this is proven, that if you'll incorporate them into your journey will be filled with happiness. So, speaking of journey, I wish I had time to sit down with each of you and ask you the question, why a doctor? Why a doctor? Of all the things you could do, is it because you or a family member came across some sort of an illness that inspired you to want to help others? Is it because you're fascinated with science or even the art of medicine? Is it because you want to address global health challenges? Or is it just because you love people? What is it? What is your why? I hope if you haven't had a chance to think about that you will, because I will tell you, you will need it. It will matter. Come up with that why and come from deep within the heart and be very clear about it, because what is about to happen will challenge that why. And at times it will be hanging by a thread. But in those moments, that why will help you prevail and succeed. Why do I tell you these things? I tell you these things because we need you to succeed. We need you. The communities need you. Our health systems need you. And the many individuals' lives who you will impact and even save need you. You don't even know what's ahead of you. We need you, and we can't afford to have you fail. This today is one of the greatest monumental moments of your career, and I congratulate you for that. The work is now just about to begin. I get a little teary-eyed when I think about that. I've had the great privilege of working on large-scale perspectives of our health systems in the state of Utah. From leading the Department of Health during the global pandemic, counseling and consulting with Medicaid, as was spoken here, leading Governor Cox's efforts to create the One Utah Health Collaborative, to leading a current initiative that's focused on how do we solve the healthcare workforce shortage crisis in Utah and in America. These experiences have given me a very precious insight into our health systems that lead me to know how badly we need you to succeed. So my grandpa, this is gonna probably shock everybody, and I'll be taking autographs afterwards if you want. My grandpa is the founder of Ore-Ida Food Company. Who here has heard of Ore-Ida Food Company? Okay, about 2/3 of you. Ore-Ida Food Company is famous for frozen French fries and the tater tot. My grandpa invented the tater tot. Okay, so let me ask, who here has eaten a tater tot? Raise your hand. Every single hand has gone up. Okay, let me ask, who has not eaten a tater tot? I see one hand over here. We will bringing you tater tots later today. So here's the deal. Grandpa Neef, that's what we used to call him, what he did is he was making frozen French fries. So he'd run the potatoes through the fixture that would create frozen fries that they would freeze. And there was all this waste, and he would send it off to pig farms for food. And he looked at it and he thought, why in the world wouldn't we do something with that waste? He saw a flaw in the system. He chopped up all that potato waste into little teeny bits, and he made this little wooden fixture. I've heard this story with my own ears. And he drilled holes in this wooden fixture, and he pressed those potato waste through those holes to create little snake-like ropes of potatoes. And then he cut them into little pieces. And then he had a competition with his employees. What should we call these? And one of the employees came up with the name tater tots. And that's how the tater tot was actually formed. So, Grandpa Neef saw the flaw, he looked for the opportunity, and the miracle happened when he acted. It would have been a lot easier to just keep sending the waste to the pig farm. Super easy. And he could just go on his merry way and do his job. Do the deed. But he didn't. He saw the problem and he acted. So what was the impact of this? Well, this product has touched just about every human being in this room, and at least in the United States, and perhaps even the world. It influenced the entire frozen food industry. It's a big deal. So the healthcare system is obviously more complex than the food industry. It's the largest industry by sector. So graduates, listen carefully to what I'm about to share. The health industry has at its core the human being. The most sophisticated creation in all the world. There is not a greater miracle, and nothing is more sacred and more beautiful. The human being is the most important fundamental unit of our health industry. But you're going to step into the industry now. And thank you for stepping into this industry. We need you, and you can do this. But you're going to witness a tension. It's a counter-tension, a pull at the scale of magnitudes that will blow your mind. This tension, if you look carefully, you'll see it. You've probably already seen it or heard lots about it. But the counter-tension argues against what I just said, the human being being the most important fundamental unit of the health industry. Instead, this tension argues that the most important fundamental unit of our health industry is the almighty dollar. This is not okay. It's been my experience that our health systems battle this tension every hour of every day. It's an inherently important decision, and it can be a healthy tension. But when it's imbalanced, dysfunction happens. Lives and prudent health care sometimes are subordinated, and this includes subordinating patients and providers in this. Parts of our health system, right now, parts of our health system have fallen short under this tension. As incredible and effective as our health system is, we're falling short in this. I want to invite you to learn to see the system as a whole. You're going, I don't even know how to do this. I've got so much on my brain right now, and I'm just heading into the most busy time of my life. But please take a moment and absorb this. Step back and see how all the moving parts connect or don't connect. And I will tell you that growth and an aging population are real. Rising healthcare costs are becoming increasingly unaffordable, and in too many ways, our health outcomes are worsening and disparities are widening. This is not okay. I invite you to make systems level change a core part of your why. This is a big deal. Here's the thing, the system needs you as much as the people within it. As of now, you can no longer view the system as something abstract or out there, independent of you. As of now, you are the system. There's no magic wizard going to make the dysfunction go away. Can system level change happen? I should have Donna come up here and speak. Can system level change? You're probably thinking, and it's so hard to make system level change. I want to share that during the pandemic, I served at the very center of the state's response. I was with the governor often with very few people as we were strategizing, lawmakers working together to figure out what in the world are we going to do. I was appointed to lead the Department of Health and co-lead the state's unified command structure. And our early modeling projections showed dire consequences. We were in extreme uncertainty every hour of every day. It was absolute fear and concern and great tenacity to figure out how to navigate this. Large stakeholder groups were passionately debating, weren't they? Passionately debating over who has jurisdiction over policymaking and access to extremely scarce resources. The questions were asked, should we close businesses and shut down schools? Should hospitals cancel elective surgeries? Who has the authority to make these decisions? What are the consequences of making these decisions? Who knows? How do we stand up testing? There's not even any testing available. Is contact tracing ethical? When will vaccines be available, if ever? Is there going to be a vaccine? How many people will die before this thing comes under control? Lives and livelihood were being threatened at scale. But here's the thing. And the reason I share this, through this unprecedented global crisis, I witnessed the goodness of people. I watched trust be established. I watched barriers being removed. And through a collective effort involving the health systems, lawmakers, government, educators, and businesses, massive system-level changes happened, and fast. Though we were imperfect in the state of Utah, the Wall Street Journal ranked the state of Utah #1 in the nation for its pandemic response. So what's my point? System-level change can happen. We've witnessed it. We had an interesting catalyst force us to be able to see this, but it proved that when there's a catalyst, change can happen. The system is human-made, and only humans can change the system. Grandpa Neef figured out how to repurpose the waste and create a beautiful product that impacted the lives of almost every person and for generations. Look to be the catalyst. Don't just join the crowd that says, someday I'm gonna. In fact, probably, maybe some of you are sitting there thinking, yeah, maybe off in the future. I know that's an easy thing to go to, but gonna ends up never doing anything. Gonna becomes so engaged in the system that they don't know how to take time to step back and work on the system. We need your brilliant strategic thinking as you move forward in this journey. Because what happens, it's like living next to an active railroad track. Once you get in the system and you start to be around it all the time, you don't even hear the noise anymore. It's an interesting little scenario that I've presented. I hope you'll participate in that fight. We're counting on you to make our health systems more caring, more attuned to the real needs and life experiences of our patients, families, communities, and providers. Talk about generational impact. You all have the platform and the opportunity now to change lives, and by the millions and by generations. I have one more hope, and then I'll close. When I look at you and bask in this moment with you, I hope you will always be deeply rooted in self-assurance, confidence that will carry you through the unavoidable challenges of your field. You're a doctor. By every sense of the word, you're brilliant. You have the highest degree that higher education can offer. But I don't want you to settle for being brilliant. I want to ask you to step up to Brilliant 2.0. And here's what Brilliant 2.0 is. Brilliant 2.0 yokes with that brilliance and the intelligence, the self-confidence, the assurance, a genuine humility. It remains open-minded, approachable, teachable, patient, and respectful toward the patient, the colleagues, and the ever-changing field of medicine. Brilliant 2.0 welcomes into their world those who will tell them the hard truths, both spoken and unspoken. Brilliant 2.0 listens with both the ears and the heart. And Brilliant 2.0 is so refreshing. It is so amazing to watch somebody with such intelligence, so much influence, so much capability, to have genuine humility. Talk about the ingredients for getting stuff done and changing lives. So look into my eyes for a minute. If I could just come down there and grab each of you by the robe, I would do this. I would say to you, we need you and you can do this. You're smart. You're capable. You're a miracle with a purpose. And remember, the human being is the most sophisticated creation in all the world, and nothing is more sacred and nothing is more beautiful. And that's you. You can be the difference in the individual life. You can be the difference in communities. And you can be the difference in system-level change. Class of 2024, you are now the catalyst. What will be your tater tot? It's your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders. The members of the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine have evaluated the candidates and recommend all these students as worthy of having the degree Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine conferred upon them. The Rocky Vista University Board of Trustees has unanimously endorsed the conferral of this degree upon each student. Dr. Forstein, members of the Board of Trustees, and honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, it is with great pride that I present to you Rocky Vista University's College of Osteopathic Medicine graduating class of 2024. Sure. We will now honor the graduates earning the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. Hooding is the culmination of medical students' achievement of the DO degree. The hood is adorned with green velvet, which represents the academic color of medicine. The school's colors adorn the inside of the hood. Dr. Mark Wardle, Vice Chair and Chair of Tracks and Special Programs and Associate Professor of Primary Care Medicine Department, has been selected to serve as the faculty hooder. Graduates were also given the option of being hooded by a family member or a preceptor. Our military graduates will be hooded first, followed by the fellows. The rest of the class will then be hooded in alphabetical order. The graduates' names will be read by Dr. Brian Schwartz, Director of the Frank Ritchell Ames Memorial Library and Associate Professor of Medical Humanities.
Dr. Keenan Barr. Dr. Francis DeCastro. Dr. Quentin Gray. Dr. Michael Hyam. Dr. Mark Linford. Dr. Catherine Offner. Dr. Nathan Sperry. Dr. Cheyenne Wong. Dr. Stephen York. Dr. Andrea Doan. Dr. Madeline Costi. Dr. Nicholas Longi. Dr. Maxton Muir. Dr. Alexander Segrist. Dr. Timothy Light. Dr. Colby Adamson. Dr. Dominic Allen. Dr. Kyle Anderson. Dr. Diana Arias. Dr. Laura Aston. Dr. Samyar Atarian. Dr. Patrick Barthman. Dr. Hunter Bell. Dr. John Bosack. Dr. Justin Bradshaw. Dr. Tanner Brinley. Dr. Jenna Buckleitner. Dr. Erin Callahan. Dr. Nikita Chalaka. Dr. Jessica Chen. Dr. Leif Christensen. Dr. Min Kyung Chung. Dr. Brian Coburn. Dr. Ali Coffey. Dr. Brandon Cox. Dr. Cody Crandall. Dr. Alexander Kumek. Dr. Kane Darling. Dr. Jordan Dong. Dr. Isabella Jajits. Dr. Christian Earl. Dr. Benjamin Elgin. Dr. Emerson Evans. Dr. Anissa Finley Klein. Dr. Mackenzie Fry. Dr. Justice Garish. Dr. Steve Garis. Dr. Sean George. Dr. Thomas Gordon. Dr. Lauren Hagenstein. Dr. Tyler Hall. Dr. Caitlin Hallahan. Dr. Christopher Hannum. Dr. Joshua Hansen. Dr. Jason Hatch. Dr. Kason Heyer. Dr. Sheila Heilman. Dr. Emily Heinzen. Dr. Jordan Higgs. Dr. Clark Hollingshead. Dr. Jackson Holmgren. Dr. Yasser Izhar. Dr. Brady James. Dr. Joseph Jenkins. Dr. Tyler Johnson. Dr. Jordan Jones. Dr. Meghana Kethareddy. Dr. Hayan Kill. Dr. Jessica Kitson. Dr. Yasmin Krensa. Dr. Thomas Keene. Dr. Karishma Lakhani. Dr. Andrew Larson. Dr. Angela McFarlane. Dr. Austin Martinez. Dr. Kamaehu Matthias. Dr. Dallin Maxwell. Dr. Alexandra McMillan. Dr. Hope Menning. Dr. Colton Merrill. Dr. Jordan Mikesell. Dr. Amanda Morgan. Dr. Tanner Morris. Dr. Adeline Morrow. Dr. Shad Mortensen. Dr. Jordan Perry Nelson. Dr. Taylor Bradley Nelson. Dr. Ryan No. Dr. Garrett Olson. Dr. Taylor Park. Dr. Lawson Parker. Dr. Jacqueline Pham. Dr. Alyssa Quinn. Dr. Stephanie Quass. Dr. Luke Richards. Dr. Zeke Richards. Dr. Jason Rowe. Dr. Samuel Rogers. Dr. Eduardo Sanchez. Dr. Jacob Sawyer. Dr. Kevin Seeley. Dr. Evan Starr. Dr. Riley Stearns. Dr. Matthew Stephenson. Dr. Wayne Sturr. Dr. Shreyas Suresh. Dr. Morgan Saponiak. Dr. Calvin Thomas. Dr. Kyle Tracy. Dr. David Vandermerwe. Dr. Shreya Vuchala. Dr. Ellison Walker. Dr. Leslie Waters Keller. Dr. Austin White. Dr. Brandon Wilkinson. Dr. Douglas Worthland. Dr. Weston Wong. Dr. Michael Wands. Dr. Tammy Zamitis. Dr. Bailey Zimmerman.
Will the graduates please rise? Graduates, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. You are hereby recognized as graduates and alumnus of Rocky Vista University. Please move your tassels from the right to the left to signify your accomplishment. If you ever forget which side your tassel goes on, remember that you wear it on the left side over your heart to remind you of your fond days at Rocky Vista University. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the graduates of 2024. Okay, graduates, stay standing. Everybody else can have a seat for a few minutes. I would now like to invite Dr. Ryan Green, President of the Rocky Vista University Alumni Association and graduate of RVUCOM's class of 2015, to the podium to extend greetings and administer the osteopathic oath.
Can you all hear me in the back? Yes, awesome, amazing. My name is Dr. Green, President of the Alumni Association. It's an honor to be here. About a decade ago, I was in your position. I cannot believe how quickly time has flown. I don't have a grandfather that created the tater tot. I do have a grandfather that had the opportunity to invest 50-50 in Denny's and passed. So that is, I will keep working. I do have one piece of advice, if I can pass that along to you guys, which is a quote that's resonated for me quite often, and I'll share it with you, which is, the greatest superpower that we all have, all of us, the greatest superpower that we all have is the ability to ask for help, and we don't use it. So remember what it took to get you to this point, because the next step will require more and better. So the greatest superpower you all have, but we rarely use, is asking for help. So people to the left, right, classmates, co-residents that you're about to meet, never feel bad about asking for help, because no one is doing this alone. So, yeah. With that being said, will the graduates please rise for the oath? And I also invite all physicians in the audience to stand with the graduates to reaffirm or share our oath. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I'm about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and the life of my patients, to retain their confidence and respect, both as a physician and a friend, who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skills and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding in the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for nefarious purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation, and never by word or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art, to my college and to my profession. I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests, and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathic medicine which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Thank you, my fellow physicians. Please be seated.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green. I don't know about all y'all, but my face hurts from smiling so much. This is great. All right. One of my greatest honors as Dean of RVUCOM is to welcome you as new doctors on this very special day. Let's talk for a minute about audacity. It's the quality of being willing to take a risk or a chance that most people won't take. When channeled for good, it means to be bold, to be daring, and to be courageous. Applying to medical school is an audacious act. It's a long process, expensive and tedious, fraught with requirements, all of the risk of queuing yourself up for possible rejection. Going to medical school is an audacious act. You have to imbibe new information in a new way and develop a sense of criticality that you've never had to before. You must learn what's essentially an entirely new language and then learn how to communicate in that language to people who don't often speak it. The audacity of these acts is clear. You commit yourself to being proficient in a corpus of knowledge that grows and expands and changes constantly. But the pragmatic and pedagogical side is not the part that requires the most audacity. You sign up to take someone else's life into your own hands. You sign up to walk into dangerous, perilous, potentially fatal situations and say, I'm here. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it okay. That takes a special kind of bravery, a special and rare kind of audacity to take on that pressure and know that you can excel with that burden. You're signing up for a role of leadership, and yes, people will follow your lead and your protocols. They will abide by your suggestions and your prescriptions. But here's the challenge in that. Understanding that true leadership isn't about power. Leadership comes from service. Influence comes from humanity. It's an act of fearlessness, of audacity, to be authoritative without being dictatorial, to have strength without supremacy, and to be in charge without being domineering. Because in addition to signing up to be a leader, being a physician is signing up for a life of service. The act of being a physician is at the center of everything you do. The patient in your room, the sometimes sick, the sometimes scared, sometimes wrong, but always human patient that's sitting right in front of you. Be enough of a human to listen, be enough of an expert to learn, and be enough of a leader to follow. You're signing up to be a part of a community of practice, of a group of colleagues and partners who took the same audacious path that you've taken. Colleagues who know what it's like to empathize with patients on their worst days, to celebrate with them on their best days, and to support them on all those days in between. But please know that the very best practitioners of medicine and the healing arts, despite knowing with every ounce of their being that they're the expert in disease and pathology, will never know a fraction as much about the rich and complex tapestry of each patient's life as the patients know themselves. And the very best doctors recognize that in every visit. The patient teaches them far more than they could ever hope to teach the patient. So go out into the world, go into your residencies and your fellowships and eventually into your practices and be audacious, be bold, you've earned it, and you deserve it. Be leaders, be forces for truth and for health in the communities where you're going to be living and where you're going to be practicing. But just as you practice medicine, also practice service, practice humility, practice listening to and learning from your patients. Have the audacity and the courage to be the physician who practices first with their heart and with their humanity. So thank you for your efforts and your dedication. Thank you for having the dream to become physicians and for having the audacity to make that dream a reality. Congratulations to the class of 2024. Go out there and make us proud and make yourselves proud. Rocky Vista University proudly identifies as a military-friendly medical school. And because of this, we have a large population of students who are part of the Health Professions Scholarship Program. Please welcome Dr. Dean Gubler as we honor those HPSP students and present to you their commissioning ceremony.
Thank you, Dean Farrell. In our brief history of military medicine, we've received the designation of one of the top 10 military-friendly institutions. With our 131 students on military scholarship, we have earned the distinction of being one of the largest military medicine programs in the civilian community. We are proud of our students, their service to country, and their school. Today we honor 9 of our graduating military HPSP scholarship students. We are proud of them, and RVU is acknowledged as the leading medical school, non-active duty medical school, civilian in this country. It is exemplified by Ensign Keenan Barr, this year's valedictorian, soon to be Lieutenant Barr. Our commissioning officer, Colonel Alan Moloff, retired from the United States Army in 2006 after 30 years of service. He has had numerous assignments in the Special Forces, to include the 7th and 10th Special Forces Group, Army Special Operations Command, and commander of the Special Operations Medical Training Program. He is a master parachutist, a master flight surgeon, a ranger, a master dive officer, Special Forces Qualified Pathfinder, and a United States Undersea Medicine Dive Officer. He graduated from the Army's CGSC course and the War College. He earned his DO degree from the New Jersey School of Osteopathic Medicine and later an MPH from Harvard University. He is board certified in preventive medicine, aerospace medicine, undersea medicine, and disaster medicine. He is the past president of the Special Operations Medical Association and a fellow of the Aerospace Medical Association and of the College of Preventive Medicine. The selection process for a commissioning officer really is not particularly easy, but it was in this case. Colonel Moloff is the epitome of an Army officer that happens to serve as a medical officer. He represents the osteopathic community with distinction, and it is my pleasure to welcome Colonel Moloff as our commissioning officer. Colonel. Veterans, as you hear your service song, please stand and be recognized.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For where we go, you will always know, the army goes rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the foam, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. At 'em now, give 'em the gun. Down beat dives, spouting our flame from under. Hell of a roar. We live in flame or go down in flame. Hey, nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force.
Lieutenant Quentin Gray. Lieutenant Nathan Sperry. Lieutenant Francis DeCastro. Lieutenant Catherine Offner. Ensign Keenan Barr. Lieutenant Michael Hyam. Lieutenant Mark Linford. Lieutenant Stephen York. Lieutenant Cheyenne Wong.
Thank you, Colonel Moloff. We have come to the end of our ceremony today, but it is just the beginning of the next step of the journey for our graduates. Please join me in thanking the graduation committee and all the volunteers whose diligence and hard work made this ceremony possible. Family and friends are invited to greet the graduates in the lobby after the recessional. Please stand and remain standing until the end of the recessional. And please, let's give one more round of applause to the RVUCOM class of 2024.